Hey, boys and girls, it's your man, Mike Deezee, and welcome back to Deezee Reacts. Today is going to be a reaction to, or rather, today's reaction is going to be an update from the Twitter group that talks on Facebook called Six Brown Chicks. The dates will vary as there's various different updates. Let's see, as always, when you're done here, make sure to hop on over to Twitter, give them some love. Also, make sure to hop on over to their Facebook page and give them some love, and make sure you let them know M Video Network sent you there. With that said, let's do this. Starting off with the 30th of August of this interesting Gregorian year. I'm being an ass, as you already know. Okay, so this is from question 8, which was, my ex paid child support 5 years. He got engaged. Plus, she demanded a paternity test. What to do? Not my child, not her biz. Alright, that was her version of explaining things. Your husband has paid child support for the last 5 years for a child that is not his, if I'm understanding right. Your ex-husband got engaged. I'm not using that term. I'm using my term. Don't like it? Oh, wow. Again, your ex-husband got engaged and his betrothed is demanding a paternity test. You want to know what you should do. Okay. I'm guessing the betrothed is telling your ex-husband that she does not believe that the child your ex-husband, is paying for is his child, and you are suggesting that the child is none of her business. On the one hand, you're right. A man's child is not the concern of the betrothed necessarily. However, because the betrothed will be in the child's life as a mother figure, the betrothed has a right to show a level of concern for her husband's affairs, especially if her female intuition is telling her that things are not as they seem. If you were to put yourself in her shoes, excuse me, and if your heart and mind are healthy spiritually, a spiritually healthy sister is going to tell the man and to investigate the paternity of a child, not because the betrothed, has an issue with the child, but because the betrothed senses betrayal from the mother towards the ex-husband, who is the father. The betrothed does not like the idea of a child of another man being used by a wicked woman, the mother in this case, to get money off a good man, her soon-to-be husband. The spiritually healthy betrothed woman wants the wicked woman, who is again the mother, to go to the true father of the child to get the financial support that the child, not the wicked woman, is rightfully due. Excuse me. Now, the update from all that. Her update was, my ex, right. My ex married old girl. My son spent 2 nights weeks, spent the night 2 weeks later, excuse me, can't read right, in November. He sent a copy of the paternity test results and basically said he didn't want to see us no more. My son, real father, has never been involved. Alright. My response to that update. Sounds like from your update that my spiritual senses called it right. And yes, I wrote this. I read first the original, not even knowing what the update said, and apparently my thought on my own before reading the update was spot on. You were angry that the then betrothed and now wife of your ex-husband exposed your wicked plan. However, your ex-husband should not have chosen to make the boy pay for your wicked actions. You and you alone should pay. Your ex-husband should continue the role he was providing for the child, but only with the child. Meaning, your ex-husband takes the boy shopping for clothes without you. Your ex-husband makes sure that the boy is financially covered without any interference from you. This is the best solution. Regarding the boy's natural father, I can only wonder why the natural father isn't in his life. What I'm sensing is that you betrayed the natural father the same way you betrayed your now ex-husband. And unfortunately, the natural father is making his lineage suffer by means of abandonment to punish his son for your wicked ways. Drama, drama, drama. In case I didn't say it loud enough, that was just too much drama for me. Alright, so this next one is from the 11th of October of this same year. This is from question 6. Excuse me. I'm attracted to a friend's husband, and the feeling is mutual. I had an extra ticket for the Bahamas cruise and invited him. He said yes. When the date came, my friend met me at the airport. My friend being, I guess, the guy. The guy dropped her off. Why would he do this? Alright. You say that there is a mutual attraction between yourself and your friend's husband, but you give no evidence to defend your belief. If you two were mutually attracted, why didn't he buy the tickets to the Bahamas and not instead of you buying the tickets? It is understood that you invited him, but if he has the attraction that you say he does, this trip to the if he has this attraction that you're speaking of, and you mentioned this trip to the Bahamas, I'm certain his attraction would have inspired him to pay for both of you. The fact that the husband showed up to the airport and dropped off his wife, who's supposed to be your friend, and did not join you, tells you the truth of your belief. It's a one-sided belief. Sorry, it just is. Let's see. There is no mutual attraction of the sexual nature. Sorry, that isn't. Her update. First night of the cruise, she and I, the lady, got into argument. Got into argument because we had a suite with only one bed. Not surprising. I confess she wasn't supposed to be with me. Her husband, who I'm not mentioning the name of, was supposed to be with her. Very awkward, she says. The wife slept on the floor the entire time, wanted to toss her over. The lady who's writing this post says she wanted to toss the friend overboard. We're no longer friends. Not surprised. Really not surprised. My response to that update. Once again, my spiritual instincts called it right. The husband was not interested in being intimate with you as you seem to have convinced yourself of that. If you ladies were truly friends, you would have been able to get past this issue and make the trip work in spite of your error of judgment. To make things work, you could have extended the olive branch in the form of letting your friends sleep in the bed and you take the floor. Or ask the desk, or ask the people in charge if there was a way to find a downgraded room so that you could have separate beds. The fact that you did none of this shows what type of friend you really are. Next one is from the 6th of December. I think this was covered a couple episodes ago. No, actually it wasn't, because now that I'm reading it, I don't remember reading this. My coworker bragged about how good her man is in bed. The man, works with both of them. So I decided to see for myself. I invited him to my place for dinner. I had on lingerie when he answered the door. And, let's see, he walked in with my coworker. She took pics before I could slam the door. Help. Brother. Yeah, how do I begin this? Okay. Yes, your coworker was out of line for telling you her bedroom information. That should have never been spoken about in the workplace, except that you both work in the sex industry, which I'm pretty certain that you don't. You invited your coworker's husband over to your place, and he showed up with his wife. You had on lingerie, so you clearly had sex on the mind. I'm guessing by the way you ended your post, neither the husband nor the wife showed up ready for a threesome. As for the photos your coworker took, that action confirms for me her level of wisdom. As many of you know that I support polygyny, but this is a situation where polygyny would not work because the mentality of the people involved. The update to that situation. That happened on Friday. Monday I called in and my phone rang off the hook. That skank told everybody. Showed the pics as well. I didn't go back to work. My update to her update. So the event happened on a Friday, and on Monday you called in only to learn from other coworkers, I'm guessing, that the wife who took the photos spoke about what happened at your place and to whoever was interested in hearing. Then at insult to injury, the wife showed all who were interested the photos she took of you. All I can say is next time, make sure all parties involved are at peace with your idea and not just you. And get it in writing. Contracts work wonders. We have a contract, nobody can, they can refute, but you can always say, so since you're refuting, here's the contract. You can always do that. That's the beauty of contracts. Next one's from the 19th of July. Goes to something like this. My husband's side chick attends our church. He met her there while I was in the choir doing God's work. Quotes are mine. He was with her. Second part. He dumped her. She told me about it and his new side chick. Don't want to lose my marriage. That response I just did was only to what the post said. Nothing more. Okay, this is a classic case of why I make fun of church so much, and I really do. And I take a joy in it. Because you all do not read. You really don't. Church people, unfortunately, y'all just don't read whatsoever. But swearing all day you do. So, if your husband has another woman, so long as he is taking care of his bills at home and taking care of your basic emotional needs, which in reality is all God does tell him to do, your mouth should be shut. It just should. Since your husband has already laid with the sister, just be friendly toward your sister wife and be quiet. Yes, I know you believe in this monogamy thing. Well, allow me to remind you, in a very harsh truth, the letter in the New Testament that talks about a bishop being the husband of one wife is specific to a bishop and not a parishioner. But more importantly, that rule does not come from God. That idea is what it is. Comes from a man's mind and has no place in Torah, which means it don't count. Sorry. Not even Jesus speaks of a married man being with an unmarried woman as wrong. Remember, by Torah, God's word, adultery only exists when a married man and a married woman are having sex, and each of them is not married to the person, but they're married to other persons. Or, if a married woman is laying with a single man who is not her husband, I didn't make the rules. I don't make the rules. I just obey them. So, for any hate, I'm sure it's coming. Send all the hate mail. I'll take it all right there, or on the Facebook page. You already know I'm ready for it. Bring it. And I wouldn't exactly call singing in the choir God's work, especially if you were singing a, not to be ugly, but if you were singing a gospel song of today, or an old time song, which in days of old was referred to as a Negro spiritual. Sorry, yeah, that's not God's word. Negro spirituals don't actually constitute as an actual song of praise, except that maybe you sung it in Hebrew or Aramaic. I forgot. You don't know that language. Okay. So your husband divorced his second wife and got a replacement for the second wife, the side chick as you call her. And something tells me that your husband is not doing what God says the man is obliged to do, which is take care of his former spouse until she remarries. As confident that I am, you are singing again. You're singing either contemporary songs or, not to be ugly, Negro spirituals. I'm confident that your husband is going from woman to woman, all calling it right, even if God says he's out of line. Why am I confident of this? Okay, because this is what hood people, not to be confused with black people, hood people do this. Hood people play church. They play church because the reality is, due to their being descendants of slaves of Africa who are only imitating what their white former slave masters did, the hood people of today are just as lost on what God says you can do and can't do as the whites, as they're just as lost as the whites. Am I trying to be ugly? No, I'm trying to be very factual. As I've said before in other shows, that for all that blacks are trying to do, with all due respect, hood people, and sometimes blacks, unfortunately, oftentimes what's going on is you're just doing a colored version of what white people have already done. There's very few things authentic to black culture. So yeah, getting back to what I was saying, that unfortunately, blacks oftentimes are just doing a colored version of what whites are doing because not to be ugly, but as a culture, greatly due to slavery, blacks are more or less still just a lost people, but no fault or penalty necessarily on the blacks. Why? Okay, let's do some reality checking. What happened with the blacks? They were released from physical slavery with no rehabilitation plan whatsoever, because clearly the whites didn't have that in mind. They were released with the mindset of figure it out. I'll get into that later, but you got the idea that black people doing church today are just doing the colored version or the people of color version of what they already seen white people doing. Do they really have an authentic version of what Torah or Old Testament type of church to be like? No, they have no clue. No clue at all. But, moving on. If you remain supportive of your husband and make him limit his women to you, make him limit the number of women he has to you, and to you and one other woman, I promise you, you won't have this. You won't have any more issues. Oh, make sure to update your marriage contract so it reflects the one other woman clause. Okay, update to that. The update from that one. When it hit the fan, there were 4 women who claimed to be mistresses, but the devil's a liar. I helped my man build this church from the ground, and I'll be damned if I let those whores ruin what we've accomplished. They're out. I'm here. Signed. Hashtag. I'm not going to do that. Fine. Hashtag First Lady forever. My update to all that. Well, turns out your husband is a bishop. Oops. I honestly thought he was a parishioner. I really did. The way you were speaking, you can believe in the monogamy thing if you wish, but just know that that monogamy thing is not mandatory by God. That's just mandatory by the hood church. Just let's see. Okay. Right. That monogamy thing is not from God. That's just from men who are alleged authorities in the world. As for the 4 sisters' claims, investigate the truth for yourself, and if they really are his women, be a true woman of God and accept them as your sister wives and adjust the marriage contract, or continue being the hood people that you are. Your choice, Miss First Lady Forever. Okay, next one is from the 6th of December. I'm not sure if it was covered already. No, I didn't cover this one either. Okay, let's go forward. My husband is a devoted man of God at the pulpit and an arrogant abuser at home. Recently, he threatened to divorce me if I told anyone about his 18-year-old pregnant mistress. I'm leaving. I'm leaving him. Do I tell the church or on my way out? Okay. I really swear I just spoke this. Because I did. Hood people and their warped ways of practicing church. So your husband abuses you at home. And you clearly choose to stay with him. Okay. Interesting. Well, I have a strong feeling that your husband is not a member of God's nation, Israel. If he is, I'm assuming he's physically abusing you. Remember in Book 5 of Book 5 of Torah, which is Deuteronomy, God speaking via Moses, says that no person of Israel shall harm another member of Israel. Wait, how can he be a devout man of God and be an arrogant abuser at the same time? The two don't match. In order to be devout to God, you have to be humble by default. You can't be arrogant and devout at the same time. It doesn't work. Anyway. Moving on. If your husband was so devout, why is he abusing you? As for him threatening to leave you if you expose the situation and expose his private life situation, well, he has a degree of a point. While the community of God is an open community, there is a way we talk about someone's private life. And the hood way is certainly the wrong way to talk about it. By Torah, the pastor / priest is to be called to the carpet by his counsel when he, the priest, breaks his oath to God. While God does not say that the priest must divorce or get rid of the young woman, God also does not sanction the wife divorcing the husband. Only hood-minded people say that. True. You won't find anywhere in the black ink where that hood idea of I'm just going to leave you and find someone else, that doesn't exist. It just exists in the hood. Or exists in the modern time. While I'm not trying to turn this show into the message, I do have to go there because of the subject. In Book 1 of Torah, the reason Sarah told Abraham to put Hagar and Ishmael out was not because they exist. The true and only reason Sarah told Abraham, the true and only reason was Hagar's arrogance towards Sarah. Remember, Hagar was Sarah's servant, not Abraham's. So God does not have an issue with men having many women. Just the church of today. That's fact of reality. By the black ink of Genesis, God has a problem with arrogance. So, hood family, let's get our practice in line. Let's get in line with the black ink and dismiss what ignorant hood pastors from old day have taught us. The update, or rather her update. When he got her pregnant, I really felt a line had been crossed. Unprotected sex. I was disgusted. I told our church ladies support group. They were mad at me for airing his dirty laundry. No one supported me. I've left him and the church. Then, I knew about the 18-year-old other woman, but being First Lady was more important to me back then. Now my life is not comfortable. I don't know if I did the right thing. Did I? My update. To that update. So the true reason you are bent out of shape is really because your husband, the pastor, had sex with an 18-year-old in the natural way, meaning without a condom. So, if your husband had used a condom, you wouldn't be angry. Because, as you said, a line had been crossed. To say a line had been crossed is to say that you had an agreement with your abusive husband that you weren't going to have a fit if he was with another woman, so long as he used a condom. That is what you are implying by saying a line was crossed. You are angry because your women's group or your women's support group from church did not support your talking about your husband's private life. Well, I'm not surprised. I told you there's a way to talk about someone's dirt. You chose the hood way. And God above decided to cause the sisters to reject you as a means of teaching you a lesson about protocol. Which, again, most people in the hood had no concept of what protocol equals. Protocol in the hood is it's weird. It's just plain weird. By the way, just because you choose to leave your husband does not mean God approves of your choice. Similar to how God, via Gabriel, or the angel of the Lord, told Hagar to fix Hagar's attitude, and return to her mistress, Sarah. Yes, the term mistress does not have anything to do with someone who is with a woman that is being laid with other than the wife. In reality, The mistress would be the wife, not the other woman. Just a little linguistic truth for you, in case you didn't know. Alright. Next one. From the 20th of December. I believe this is the last one. It's from question number 7. Oh, I remember this one. This is a good one. I'm the side chick the wives worry about because I actually married my former married man. Well, he doesn't come home anymore. I found out he's been in counseling with his pastor and ex-wife. This is shady because his pastor don't like our relationship. Yes, I do remember this. The update from that is he moved out for a few days. I spent Christmas alone. He said that he needed to find out what direction he wanted to take. As far as our relationship is concerned, I guess his home-wrecking pastor won this round. Can't keep a good woman down. Hashtag, I will be back. You say he spent Christmas alone. My male instincts say he spent a portion of the day with his first wife. The pastor is not a homewrecker, as you say. An analogy for you. If a house is built with faulty material and a building inspector checks a house it tells you that the foundation as well as the material is used. The foundation is not good because the material is used. You do not attack the inspector. You accept that you invested in a bad situation. If Vishnu /God /Allah wanted you and your husband to remain together, then he and Angel Rati, the angel of love, will work your situation so that all parties involved come to a mutual understanding. That's all of that. As always, make sure to click the red button for subscribe. Like it if you like it. Comment, again, that hate mail that I'm sure is coming, send it there. Or, as always, drum roll please. Hit up on the Facebook. Oh, my bad, there, now you can see it. Okay, with that said, I'm out.